Hello. Now it works.
Okay, so
Right, so the connection
Yep.
from his hardware encoder video stuff to the YouTube live stream somehow doesn't work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not.
So why doesn't it work?
Sometimes it works, sometimes it's not.
But why?
Because
Why?
I have no idea. That's the connection between his equipment and the laptop.
look, I mean, that's...
This is
I
yeah.
know, but you know, that's pretty hard to accept because we did it yesterday, we did it the day before. We were in here 8 hours, okay? We live streamed it to the point...
I was not there on that day, so I don't know exactly what happened.
Hey, we're just discussing it.
Yeah,
we're just going to
we
work
don't
out for next time.
understand what's going. The only time we can guarantee it is if we get the broadcasting box brought in. That's the only way we can guarantee,
It will.
and that's because there's about 6 iPhones attached to it to somewhere else, and they're doing it for us, and it's expensive. But if we're live streaming, that's the only way that we can guarantee it. We ended up going off his iPhone and transferred to his account. That was the only way we got it, and we got it done in 5 minutes. So why it worked with all that you're saying now, why it worked with his black box and all his stuff the day before.
And on his account.
No,
Is that what you said?
it was on our account.
Our
We
account?
set it up as we were going to go forward, and we streamed for 2.5 hours. Then it was on YouTube. We had to get it down because we forgot about it. So everything was working. We were completely confident that with the plug that this was going to work, right? It did. It was working okay, and then all of a sudden it died. So we had 2 cables and 2 data points. We checked both our cables, right? We checked his box. He's gone back and rechecked all his equipment on his network, and he did something for AMP the other day, and it was working fine. So I don't know what happens. Live streaming is always tricky, where there's always that element that it's just going to fall over and there's not a lot you can do about it. If you lose your key, you either have to wait until it reboots or you have to give Framework a new key. Now, they're the decisions that we have to make within that space of time as to which way we're going, because either way we're going to lose people because they don't understand what's going on. They don't know to refresh. They'll lose a bit, but it'll come back. So, I don't know, Tom. I'm not a technician. It's just that it's concerning when we have no reliability with it. I mean, the other thing, which has got nothing to do with this, I cannot get my laptop to work here. You tried with Lynn's, you couldn't get it. The people that were here before you tried to. I can't get that Wi-Fi to work on my machine. If I do it through the phone, it's fine. But I just don't know what's going on, and I thought, well, it's just mine and it's an Apple. But Lynn's having the same problem as well. So there's definitely something, and it could be a setting on our machine, but gee, I don't know, who was it, the last 2 guys that you've had here, they spent hours trying to get that computer configured to take your Wi-Fi, but it just doesn't work. So
I think the main thing is just we all need to work together and stop the blaming game. We need to sort out what the problem is, because I was a witness. He worked all day Monday. He worked all day Tuesday until, what time did you come up? Because it would have been 12 o'clock when he started to fail.
Yeah, about an hour and a half before.
I think there's obviously an issue somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily with YouTube, because like on Monday, Anne had a number of issues trying to print. And she was using Wi-Fi in her office, so I said to her, let's walk out of your office and try it in the main library, because that's where the router is. Well, it did not want to work. She shut it down 3 times. So obviously there's something going on, and I'm not saying it's you or IT or whatever. There's definitely something making the system, the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so I'll talk about the bigger picture from my point of view, is that last week that was the most important event that we have ever had at the college and are likely to have for a long time. I thought it all worked magnificently. Everyone was enjoying it. I was getting accolades coming in about we're watching it, we've just watched it live stream. Then Denny told me that it almost didn't happen. Now, I cannot tell you how embarrassed I would have been if it had failed. So thank God, through Simon and his phone and everything else, it worked. But I want to be assured in the future that it's not going to happen again, because we might be live streaming the Mercy Day Mass again. We might be live streaming something else. So with all the talent here and all your knowledge, can we pool it so that I will be satisfied that it'll be okay next time? And I don't know, I'm relying on you people to help me.
Well, you can't have it guaranteed because we can, because if for example someone cuts the cable in the street and everything goes down, then you won't have any internet.
That's an extreme example.
But it's happened here about 3 times.
But just in the normal, Gary.
But you need to have a backup. Like if you're going to rely on one connection and it's one point of failure, so I don't know, maybe have a few phones that you want to connect up to the internet.
Well, we did.
Yeah.
We had 3 laptops and 3 phones.
Yeah.
But our issue was, and this was the other issue, the previous time we did it, but we did it internally. If you remember the last time we live streamed, it was just going up to the classrooms.
Yeah.
And that, I think we ran that cable from somewhere else.
I was back in the gym.
Yeah.
That
That worked fine. We went off our YouTube account. But this time, our YouTube account, I prefer Vimeo. I use Vimeo, but you've got to pay $1,000 a year to live stream. So Simon's got accounts, he runs it off his all the time, so we had that as a backup, and I've got my own account, so we had that as a backup. So we had plenty of backup. The problem is we just weren't getting the connection, and we should have got it through the cable. On my laptop, I couldn't send out any emails. I was on your Wi-Fi, and I couldn't send out. They were just bouncing back all the time. So something was not working, and that's when at 25 past we decided, no.
That's what I mean by the backup, not the device backup. You need a connection backup. Everyone does live streaming professionally. They do bring in their own internet because they know that in case the internet at the actual place dies, they will have a backup connection internet that they're guaranteed that will work, like either 5G modem. So they bring in all people that come in to do live streaming bring this in because they guarantee it. It's their internet.
That's what we're talking
so in
about.
case we have downtime, then they bring that
that's
in.
Right.
So.
And that's what costs money, and sometimes
But it's all inclusive on the live streaming. It should be all inclusive because that's going to be a service in backup. They guarantee you to have a service.
Well, there's different broadcasters do different things.
Quite a lot of them do guarantee it. In case your internet dies, we do guarantee that we have a backup that will just go through. So.
Yeah.
So are we any? I'm
But hang on, can I
Yeah.
just respond to that? I think the problem with that, and I agree with you, and there is this broadcaster and that one, but by saying that, then we're not addressing the issues that we do have inside. So yes, if we're going to separate the issues out as a broadcaster, can we get in a broadcast van, or can we buy the black box, or can we do this, can we do that? Yes, and it all comes at a cost. Morel wanted sound. Well, that's another $2,500 if you're going to get all the mics put in and a sound technician to come in and do it. So these are the decisions that the college makes to spend, not spend. What are we going to do? Is it worth it? A couple of songs. So I understand that, and we do have that option all the time, and we made the decision because it was a college and because it worked last time and because we've got a plug, let's test it. We tested it, it worked on Monday. So that was why the decision was not to go with, I call it the black box, but it's not. The black box, which guarantees us a stream because it's done externally. And it's done with Optus and Telstra, and you've got all that sort of stuff happening. But we're still having issues with the setup for some reason, and whilst it's not it's not a broadcasting issue and it's not a streaming issue. It is an issue, and I guess what I'm saying is, do I come into this college and make that decision and say to Mary, no, if we're streaming, we're going this way. We're not going to rely on any of your gear. It's just a little bit unpredictable, so the cost is X amount of dollars. So is that what we do? Because we can't, it's just a little bit tricky to navigate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So why? I don't understand why sometimes it works and sometimes it
I
doesn't.
don't know. Oh,
Is it location? So I don't. How many teachers ever use a Wi-Fi connection? I mean, we do it for the assemblies, but there doesn't set them with the assemblies. I suppose they're pretty
Really
simple PowerPoints.
PowerPoints.
Sometimes we
Very,
show clips,
very
but
simple.
nowhere near as
No,
you know.
it's not
Yeah.
like that.
So is it the location? Is that the issue?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not.
Have you got any ideas?
It's not the like. Has someone ever come in and got a let's look at his laptop? Because I've never seen his laptop. So has someone ever come in to like show us his laptop and see so we can have a look at?
But I
We've
tried.
never had that.
But I took 2 library laptops, and it still didn't
Still
work.
didn't work.
Yeah, but it might be like so. I mean, like if we have a pre-plan and like set up and have a look and okay, maybe you need a certificate because we need to auth here to get to the internet, so you need to authenticate, so you need an account. So there's a lot of things that are involved. So, but I've never touched his laptop, so I wasn't involved in this. So I'm not sure if he's been set up with a cert or an auth or anything like that on his laptop for internet. And has that happened?
Is that unusual, or because he doesn't go through that process at other schools? Is that to this school that he would have to
No, a
have
lot of schools use certificates
his
and auth.
equipment authenticated?
If he's plugging through cable, you have to auth. That's at all schools. With the Wi-Fi, you don't need to because sometimes you get a guest Wi-Fi, but with the cables, you have to authenticate. Because otherwise, I can come off the street, plug in, and then I can download all your data, all your student data, and everything without anything. So that's a.
So as teachers, Denny, we've got to do it every morning.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
that little annoying thing that comes up.
Yeah,
all the
that's
time.
the one I was.
Well, we
thinking
do it
that
every morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the advice to us would be, if there is any,
So the next round of live streaming, what do we have to put in place to?
we would have to have a list from you of all the college technical requirements that we need to have bringing in our equipment. So we know, well, because there's lighting and all that sort of stuff, and we can choose to bring in stuff and choose not to bring in stuff. So if you can give us a list of all the requirements that we need to check off with you, that would be helpful.
It's too hard to do like that. I can meet Simon one day and work out with him from A to Z.
Yeah.
And next time when he come back to the school, just follow the step.
Yeah, all right.
And we will know exactly what happened now.
Sorry,
We
what's your
keep
second
saying.
bit? Next time he comes to school, what do you say then after that?
Yeah.
So we
Follow
have a
step by step.
yeah,
Meet
so we
Simon.
have a pre-meeting. Before
Yeah, but it won't always be Simon, will it?
Well,
Potentially.
no, it could potentially.
If not Simon, it's anyone else.
Yeah.
Bring the equipment here.
Yeah.
I will connect, and then I able to tell them to guide them about this is the way you connect to the school.
So
And
can we
beside
have a
this one, I will have the internet backup as well. If they plan on sometime internet not working, we get a Wi-Fi modem from Telstra. That's the second option as well. So 100% will work.
So can you step that out for us? Could you put it in writing so that we know exactly? Because as Simon last time, you could get someone else in, or it could be someone totally different.
Look, it could be you could get the nuns coming in and trying to live stream something in the chapel, or with somebody whose equipment is.
Yeah, but if we had a process to follow,
I write you up that.
yeah, that'd be great.
But I think what Tom is saying is that there's been a bit of a lack of communication with event management per se. That obviously your boss is Andrew Baker. He should be letting you know that we are coming in, what time we're coming in, and what equipment we have. and then it is your decision to tell us to say we need to meet these guys because this blah blah whatever it is, AMS, whatever it is, we need to be involved in it. So I think that's
I agree with you.
definitely-
If I know we have a test on Monday, I will be there.
Yeah, I think that it's got to be a chain of command. It's certainly not up to me as an external consultant to come into the college and say, Tom, I need a meeting with you. It has to go through, because if you have an issue with it, you need to go to Andrew and say, oh no, I'm not doing this or whatever. It can't be me telling you, because I'm the designer, I'm the marketing consultant, I'm not the live streamer. So if we know this event's happening, this is what we're thinking of doing, Mary has said, no, I want it live streamed, then Andrew needs to communicate with you, here's the dates, this is what the opportunity is, blah, blah, blah. And you say, yeah, that's fine, it has nothing to do with us, those are this, or no, we need a discussion. And because, I mean, we're totally open to that. No one wants this to fall over.
No one.
There needs to be meetings all the time when we have, not just Demi, but external people who are running something as big as live stream or anything. We need to sit down and okay, what do you need, what do you want from us, and what we want from them.
So
It's
basically
communication.
all event management needs to, whoever is in...
And even into the point from the teachers, because like that day, the first stream we did, I wasn't even told they needed microphones for the choir. I only found out on the passing.
Yep.
And I said, unfortunately, I only got one microphone. I can't supply that many microphones because I could have gone and hired other microphones. So lucky Simon had the microphones too. So it's communication as well. It's important.
Yeah. See, Morel was under the impression that he was our sound tech.
Yeah.
And I was getting great emails coming through about we need this, we need to test this, we need it. And I'm going, well, hang on a minute, we're not actually, that's not our brief. Our brief is to do this. So I think that's definitely what's got to happen, because I mean I have found Tom always 100% supportive and helpful in anything that I've tried to do. So and I'm sorry if it, you're put in a position that, I can only help you this bit because I don't know what's going on, because I hate that myself, can't stand it.
So in summary, we're saying the guys will do a basic step-by-step outline of the process. Anytime we have an event, well before the event, this team meets again to iron out any potential problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
And Simon's going to come in with some equipment to show Tom.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, look, we always do it. We always scope the
We always test
yeah, we always
that in advance, so I need to be there, that's all.
Yeah. We scope it out generally at 7 o'clock about a week before and understand where the cable's going to be, whether or not we need lights, or because the last time we did it, there were no lights.
Oh, that was, yeah.
So we had a plethora of lights. We didn't even need our lights. It was lit enough. So, and by the time we crunched down the file to go onto the back on to upload, it's not worth it. So we come in and we scope it out, make any suggestions or things that we may need. Can we have a white banner? Can we have this? Can we have that? And Fab and I have always worked pretty tightly together. And then we come in the day before and we allocate about at least 4 hours in setup, and then we test it, and then we lock it all up, and then come in about 3 to 4 hours before the actual thing, because when we come in the next day we have other personnel there, which is all costing money.
So what external equipment do we necessarily have to have that we have to organise? We've got to organise that before the event too.
Yeah, look, for us in that gym, it's about lighting. It's a big, dark, high ceilings, brown ceiling, it's a dark blue wall, there's very little white reflective on it. So for us it's about making sure Matt and Ray know how to set up chairs and where people walk. I cannot believe that they walk straight through behind us with all those cables.
And I had it blocked now.
We had
I was
chairs.
standing there as well at one stage, so yeah, trying to stop them.
Unbelievable. I'm getting better at it. I'm just going to have a white fence around it
And
next
people
time.
don't realise when you do a setup as big as that, for someone to trip over that cable,
It's
you're
a disaster. I
Well,
guess
it's
so.
also your insurance.
Yeah.
You know, a kid trips over and, you know, dislocates their knee, you're going to go for Rose. So I must look into that. I must look into that sort of plastic cage that you can
It
get.
needs to be better
Yeah.
I know barricade is the right word,
Yeah.
but it needs to be better blocked off. Because I was standing there as well,
Yeah.
and there was I saw one student go through, and there were multiple teachers
Yeah.
that went through it as well.
Yeah.
And even
So-
after you told them
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
going
yeah,
to walk.
yeah.
I think they were conscious of not walking in front.
Yeah.
They were,
So
exactly
were
right.
fine.
And
And if it's not a proper barricade, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's around those, I don't know what they're
And-
called, but around to block it.
And going back to what Tom was saying, I think that that's part of our responsibility as well as organisers, is to send out a separate email or even an infographic sheet that we're setting up. These are the no-go zones. They will have red thing on it, so the teachers know. Oh, okay, because I mean, half the time we were sort of jimmy jamming, and it was,
Yeah.
you know, it was a bit lighthearted. So I think that as organisers, we should be just inform everybody.
Well, the end result, thanks to the expertise around this table, is that it did happen and it went well, and it has now literally gone around the world. We've been getting emails from Ireland with people looking at it there. So it was a success, but it may not have been.
Yeah.
And it was stressful for that little village when it really was worth something that it went down. It really was.
It was a bit stressful. Well, I mean, we had already made the call that we weren't going to do it. We were going to shut it down, record it, and he just kept going and saying, well, I'll try this and I'll try this and I'll try this. So, but I mean, that's what they do. They're always got their back up against the wall, so we're lucky that it came through. But there's also an issue with YouTube. I don't like YouTube.
That's what I was going to say. Can you use something else to live stream? Is there another option?
That all depends on the person doing the live streaming.
Yeah.
They
Maybe
decide
you
not
can
much.
say to them,
Yeah.
you know, we know YouTube is
They
it's
need
an
to
issue.
learn. They need to learn. So
Yeah.
it depends
Yeah.
on which
We
program
don't like
you
the
prefer
issue
to
because
use.
it's an issue. We as a
It's
school,
not us prefer to
Yeah.
use, but yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is with YouTube, it is much more open and reliable for streaming. Vimeo is a bit tricky. It costs a lot of money. You've got to book it in first. I'm not that Framework loves it. They do it all the time. I'm a little bit iffy with it. The thing about using other people's accounts is that because he's a registered broadcaster, then Google and all those guys are all over them. If there's a song, like if we live streamed and we used his account that day when we live streamed the Year 12 students, and she put on a bit of music, that music was not license free. It was just, I mean, they can shut you down because they say, no, you know, licensing hack, so that's it. So I mean, that's a bit tricky. So that's why we've got our own accounts. But
So then when you say our own accounts, do you mean your company's accounts or the
no,
academy
the
account?
academy has a
Okay.
YouTube account
Yeah, good.
and it has a Vimeo account.
Right.
It's pretty tightly controlled. Why we do that is if we put anything on Facebook and just even a little thing, it'll go to our channel rather than just anything that's got the word academy on it.
Yep.
And there's plenty of stuff that the girls have shot out there on
Yep.
cyberspace that ought not to be on
Yep.
our Facebook page. So that's why we do it. But I do prefer Vimeo, but I've been on the phone to them plenty of nights trying to sort out their things. They're just a bit glitchy, I find. So
But it sounds like YouTube was pretty glitchy as well last week.
yeah,
So.
it tends to be. I think people like it because it doesn't cost anything. You know, it's free, isn't it? And it's easy
It
to
is
use.
free.
Plenty of people use it, but it's very, very public. and you can lock it down, but you know, I'm not the expert in this. All I know is that what can happen if, you know, I'm all about privacy, protecting the kids, keeping it off public screens, that sort of stuff. So the technical stuff I've got to leave to other people.
Okay, well, I think we've got the way forward. Denny, just going back to you and your laptop not being able to access Wi-Fi, can we sort that out?
I don't know. What do you think? You were the last one to have a go at it. And that was yours. Yours is the same as mine.
Do you know how to sort it out?
Well,
There's three different ones.
Sorry?
I've never had a look at it, so.
It might be the same, it might be different. I don't know.
Well, we put Citrix on it, you know, and that didn't work. I mean, we've,
Gary wants to have a go.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, Brandon, I'll have to
Yeah.
look at this one.
but, yeah, I don't know what, I mean, phones, we just run off the phone at the end of the day because
But
we can.
if we can make it work.
Yeah, it'd be
better.
great. It'd be
Okay.
great.
Thank you, everyone. I think we're right. We've got the way forward, and let's hope we don't have to live stream again for a while.
Yeah.
If we do,
Sort of-
we'll be ready for it, and I'll help you. Thank you.